Scotch whisky is revered worldwide for its history, craftsmanship, and incredible variety. But what actually is Scotch whisky, and why should you be drinking it? Let's start at the beginning. Scotch whisky's story begins in the late 15th century, with the first written record of distillation appearing in 1494 in the Exchequer Rolls, stating, 8 bowls of malt of Friar John Core, wherewith to make aquavitae. By the 18th century, illicit distilling was rampant due to high taxes, but the Excise Act of 1823 legitimized production, sparking a golden age for Scotch, and iconic distilleries like Glenlivet and Macallan were established. In 1880, the phylloxera beetle devastated French vineyards, and Scotch whisky replaced brandy as the spirit of choice. In 1939, Scotch production increased to help support the war effort. One cabinet member was quoted as saying, "The country needs food, dollars mean food, and whiskey means dollars," and overseas exports exploded. Scotland's 5 whiskey regions, Speyside, Highlands, Lowlands, Islay, and Campbelltown, each produce whiskies with distinct characteristics. While I cover these in detail in another video, think of Speyside as fruity and elegant, Islay as smoky and peaty, and Highlands as diverse and robust. Scotch whisky is characterized into 5 main styles, each with unique production methods and flavor profiles. Single malt Scotch whisky is made at a single distillery from 100% malted barley and is typically distilled in pot stills. Single grain Scotch whisky is made at a single distillery but includes other grains like wheat or corn alongside malted barley. It's typically lighter and used as a component in blends but can be bottled on its own. Blended Scotch whisky is a mix of single malts and single grains from multiple distilleries. It's designed to create a balanced and consistent flavor, and accounts for some of the most popular whiskeys in the world. Blended malt Scotch whisky is a blend of single malts from different distilleries without any grain whisky. And blended Scotch grain whisky is a mix of grain whiskies from different distilleries. Scotch whisky must follow strict rules to earn its name. Its ingredients are water, malted barley, and optionally other grains. It must be distilled in Scotland, usually in copper pot stills for single malts or column stills for grain whiskies. It needs to be matured for at least 3 years in oak casks within Scotland. And it needs to be bottled at a minimum ABV of 40% with no additives except water and caramel coloring. The barley that they use significantly influences a whiskey's flavor. Scottish barley is locally grown and provides traditional and robust flavors. Golden Promise is a heritage barley prized for its malty richness, and it's used by distilleries like Macallan. And some distilleries experiment with organic or regional barley, adding unique terroir to their whiskies. Independent bottlers shouldn't be ignored. Companies like Gordon and MacPhail and Douglas Lang buy casks from distilleries to age and bottle whiskey independently. This practice often results in rare and unique expressions. Although bottlers must adhere to strict regulations, including transparent labeling and compliance with Scotch whisky standards, these end up becoming some of the most prized by collectors. Scotch whisky is protected by geographical indication status, ensuring it can only be made in Scotland under strict legal requirements. The Scotch Whisky Association enforces these standards and protects Scotch whisky's reputation globally by making sure that they follow certain rules, such as minimum aging period of 3 years and labeling transparency. Whether you're drinking a smoky peated Scotch from Islay or a sherried Scotch from Speyside, Scotch whisky has earned a bit of its pompousness due to its history and craftsmanship. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, check out some of my other 3-minute videos to learn about other styles of whiskey, or watch this video to go more in depth on Scotch whisky regions. Have a great rest of your night. Cheers.